Let's go back because we have a tiger in the house. All right. Come back to Ejimofor. How are you?
I'm doing well. I did fine.
You did fine. I see. This is what I'm saying, guy. This guy. We'll open the line soon, but when I don't start it. Tani, why we knock this guy off? Ejimofor, what is it like before we go to who you are? What is it like being in the national team, being with other Tigers?
It's a blessing. It's one of the best things God's provided me in this life, especially in my freshman basketball career. To be able to come home, represent my mother's country, my home country, and compete with my brothers on the highest stage is one of the most beautiful things, and to be an inspiration to the youth. You know what I'm saying? Playing basketball, the game I love, to motivate and uplift the youth to want to be better and chase their passion. So it's a surreal feeling, and I'm very thankful for that all my hard work has been paying off for me to get this opportunity for my first call-up.
This is your first call-up. What is it like? I mean, when you got your first call-up, that, you know, did you ever think that, you know, when you started playing basketball, let's just start from there, that you will one day be representing Nigeria as a Tiger?
I knew I'd be here since I was born. I knew it was meant to happen.
Since you were born?
Since I was born. I knew it would happen. I knew playing for the national team, something I always wanted to do since I was a kid. It wasn't a matter if it would happen, it was just a matter of when my opportunity would come, because I work really hard and, you know, I believe in myself. I think, you know, I'm the youngest of 8 children. My mother always said I'm the one with the most confidence, because you could tell me no, but I'm gonna still find a way to get it done. So I'm very thankful, mainly for the captains, Chimezie Metu, Michael Eric, for, you know, reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity to join the team. I'm very thankful that, my skills have been showcased enough for me to catch the eyes of the national team and to be able to represent my country at the highest level. So I'm very thankful for that. And, you know, to have the opportunity to come home, bring my family together, because I have a lot of family back east, but they never see me play in person. Okay. So for them to see me come home and play in my home country, it was the first time I've ever been to a basketball game. It was a great moment for my family.
Where exactly in the Far East are you referring to?
Anambra.
Anambra?
Okija, to be exact.
Okija. Okay. So then, for those of you in Anambra, for those of you from Okija, we have an Okija son in the house, a Tiger, representing the Tiger. Then, Ejimofor, let's go back to the beginning. Your early years. Who was the Ejimofor of how? As far back as you can recollect yourself, probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years. What was happening then?
Life before basketball was real humble. My mother immigrated to the United States in 1978. I'm the youngest of 8 children. I grew up in a single-parent household. My dad wasn't really around. During that time, we lived in the projects in New York City. When my mother was pregnant with me, she decided to put herself to school, and she became a nurse. When she became a nurse, she worked 2, 3 jobs to get us out of the projects, get out of bad neighborhoods, and to provide us a better life. Those are the things I'm most thankful for, because if she didn't make those sacrifices to work hard and to move us into a better neighborhood, how many of us would still be here today? You know, we lived in a life in a neighborhood there was a lot of crime, a lot of violence, which many kids here in Nigeria can relate to. But I'm very thankful for my mother, for her and her work ethic, because by her moving us to a better neighborhood to provide us an opportunity to have a better life, and, you know, we're reaping the benefits of her decisions. All my siblings are nurses, doctors, professional athletes. We're very blessed, all 8 of us, because we know what it took to get to this point.
You said your mother became a nurse, which means your mother became a nurse at an advanced age. At 40?
Age 40.
Age 40? Yeah. That's why she became a nurse. Mm-hmm. Before then? Before then,
she was raising us, housewife. Then my dad left, he wasn't around. And, you know, my mother could have complained and been like, oh, I don't have a husband, I did provide, but, you know, she didn't do that. She never complained. She just found a way to get it done and work hard. And I'm very...
brought up 8 of you? 8
of us. How many? 4 boys, 4 girls.
Okay, equal, that is 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. yeah. Very, you know, it was a balanced household. But, you know, I'm very blessed for being the youngest, because right after my mother became a nurse, we started having a little bit more money, so she was able to take me back to Nigeria. So many of my childhood summers, I went to Nigeria, went to the village. This is my first time in Lagos, actually, and I spent time with my family, because she was very important for us to know. Even though we didn't have money in the U.S. and we lived in bad neighborhoods, she wanted us to know how important it was for being Nigerian. We're strong people, we're confident people, we're very intelligent, and we need to have confidence in ourselves. And I feel like that, having that foundation, being raised in a Nigerian household, it helped propel me to be successful.
I don't know. There is this thing I had. I don't know if it is true. Ejimofor, were you an apprentice welder?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you tell us? Can you? I just want you guys to listen to this because I don't understand it. Here is a kid born in the U.S. Of course, he said, "Look, we're poor." I understand, but but when you say you are poor, there was a time in Nigeria. There is a time they use the poor of the poor, the poorest of the poor. That if you are poor in the U.S. and then you now say, go back to Okija and see if you will still describe yourself as being poor. But then that your life. How did you become an apprentice welder, Ejimofor? How?
My mother's a very smart woman. I'll say that. In the U.S., she always used the term fourth-class citizen because we lived in the projects and everything. But, we're still more fortunate enough than my cousins that live in Nigeria because in the U.S., we have opportunities to be successful. And she always kept that perspective with us. So whenever we went back to Nigeria, it's very easy to have a sense of entitlement just because you're born Yankee or you're born in the U.S. over your cousins who live in Nigeria in our home base. She didn't want that to happen. So, when I came back home, I did the same thing my cousin did. When I'm in the village, I go to the farm with my grandma. I walk to the market with my cousins. I fetch water with them. So it was everyone was equal. It didn't matter where you was from. And those are the things that I was very much grateful for. And, I was always good with my hands and very creative. The farm life wasn't for me. I'm sorry. Farm life wasn't for me. My uncle, he was a welder in the village, and he used his hands to build things. He used to take me to a real estate project he worked on. So I just tagged along with him. My mother said, go with him. And so he taught me a lot of things, and it made me be creative. And my aunt, she worked in the market. She sold garments. And, it taught me the hustler's mentality, how to be an entrepreneur. At those early ages, being a welder's apprentice, working with my aunt in the market is very humbling. But at the same time, it teaches you the good things that you need to know how to be a successful businessman down the road, how to be able to utilize your hands to always have a trade. Because in life, let's say something goes wrong, you need to be able to provide for your family. And, I learned at an early age the value a man can have to have an impact on his family and his community.
Did you while you were tagging along with your uncle, did you ever use the solid iron? Did you ever, put it together? You really you did those things? Yes,
I passed it to him. At an early age. I'm gonna be honest, my mother must have gave him some rules. EJ cannot do this, but he could do that. You know what I mean? So, it's very interesting. I learned a lot, and he's a great guy, and I'm very thankful to have him in my life at that age because it taught me a lot of lessons. I always say this, there's lessons you learn at the bottom that you can never learn at the top. Yeah. You got to go through the tough times. You got to know what poverty tastes like in order to handle success. Because if you only handle success, you take it for granted. You know what I mean? And God doesn't bless people who don't take his blessings for granted. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to be thankful for the opportunities. And going during that time, being an apprentice, I love basketball. In the village, there's no basketball hoop. Yeah. But my mother knew that, so we'll go to the dollar store, buy little basketballs. My cousin didn't know what basketball was. I just said it was a fun game. And then I'll go to Welder's shop we had in the village, and I'll strip off a tire from the bike, and he'll help me tie it to a pole, melt it into the pole. Yeah. And we made a little fake basketball hoop. And that's what we did as a kid, little fun stuff like that. He always made it fun because I was young.
So the basketball became, rim became the hood.
Bicycle tire.
Bicycle tires. Yeah. So that's what you now use as the rim.
As a rim.
So you now start, you now start dunking and, and slamming.
Absolutely. But my grandma did not know what was going on. She was just like, why are you doing this? I remember times we would dribble the ball and I'll break something, then I had to go on punishment and do the little frog hop things, and, those are the days. But, looking back at it, me and my cousins, all my cousins came to watch me play. I haven't seen them in 15 years. We all look back at those memories of us as kids, and, I encourage many of the Nigerians in diaspora to come home to see their culture, see their family, because you learn a new sense about yourself. You know what I mean? And that's one of the most things I was really grateful for at my youth that I was blessed to have. My siblings weren't able to have. Due to our financial situations at the time growing up, I was very fortunate to be last born. My mom became a nurse, so she used to be able to save up a little money to pay for extra plane ticket. But for 8 kids, 8 plane tickets, that's a lot of money. We ain't have it.
Okay, let's go to a basketball story. Of course, it has to be in the U.S. there is no other way. And if you are there, it is either basketball contending with every other sport, or you want to go into boxing or athletics or whatever. But the basketball is where you look at it, where the money, the real money is as a team game. But let us go through your journey as a basketballer. How did you start?
I started at an early age. Kobe Bryant's my favorite player. So I remember being a young kid when he won the championship with Shaq. He wore number 8, and I'm the 8th child. So I felt like it was destiny. I should be an NBA player. I should play for the Lakers. I wanted to be like Kobe Bryant. My mother recognized this because I'm very passionate. I've always been the most passionate child. So growing up, I wasn't always this tall, wasn't always this big. I was a late bloomer.
I wanted to ask you that when you were hooping at Okija, how tall were you? Because I was trying to imagine that, you know.
No, I was a shorter and a much more heavy set kid. Me and all my cousins are the same height. So when they see me now, I shot up. They're like, what happened? Because I was the short one. I was one of the shorter ones.
Maybe it's the bugger.
I'm telling you. But, you know, playing in the U.S., started playing organized basketball at the age of 13. We moved to a better neighborhood, so there's more opportunities. By the time I became 16, 17, my body didn't really come full yet. So when it was time to get scholarships, I didn't have any scholarships after finishing secondary school. But I convinced my mom, I said, Mom, I just need a fair opportunity, a fair chance. Because I was smart as a kid. My mother pushed education really hard, so she moved me up a grade earlier than my age mates. Okay. So let's say my age mates supposed to be their second year of secondary school. Yeah. I'm on my last year, so I'm competing against 18, 19-year-old kids for college scholarships, and me, I'm 16, I still have baby fat, you know, but, you know, I convinced my mom, she gave me a chance, and I'm very thankful to go to boarding school for 1 year. My body developed, and, you know, I went from having 0 scholarship offers to 30, and my mother was really happy she didn't have to pay for college. Wow. She made it very evident at an early age, due to our financial situation, there's 8 of us, she couldn't afford to put us all through college to pay the school fees. Then we all had to find a way, whether it was taking loans out or getting a scholarship. And for me, basketball is my passion. For my siblings, you know, my mother's a nurse. A lot of my siblings took the nursing route, they became nurses, doctors, and they took out loans to make their dreams come true, which I'm very thankful for. Those are great examples. And for me, I love basketball all my heart. And my mother.
So you played for your secondary school?
Mm-hmm. You played for my secondary school, and then one of the coaches in my neighborhood made an Adidas team, a team sponsored by Adidas, and we traveled around the whole U.S. playing against the top players, top teams. And on there, that's when I started to blow up and get more notoriety, and school started to see me. I started getting scholarships. From there, at the age of 18, I enrolled at Sacred Heart University on a Division I scholarship. I graduated college in 3 years. I got my bachelor's in finance, economics, and accounting. My mother was very happy. I finished college early. Then I pursued to the University of Tennessee. I got my first master's in agricultural natural resource economics. From there, I went to pursue my second master's at Cal State Fullerton. I had a master's in business administration. So my mother got what she wanted. No school fees for college. Her son got a couple degrees, 2 masters. I think she's really happy now. She gets to come home and enjoy the fruits of her labor. She gets to see life.
We're going on a very short break. I tell you this, from the apprentice welder to the man who have, you know, what do you say? He said 2 master's degrees, finance, economics. Man, stay with us. It is China Sport on Sunday. When we come back, we'll open the lights. We'll blast us in. Education, what role has education played in your development?
I'll say education is the reason my family is here.
Okay.
Definitely, you know, if my mother never put herself through nursing school, would I be here right now? I'll probably still be in the projects in New York City doing God knows what. It's because of seeing our mother's hustle as a kid and her stress education that we all had high standards of education. Like I used to say this, like we were so poor, the only thing we could afford was to dream. And you know, the dream was to be successful. So I'm very thankful that my mom and my siblings, they push education before sports. If I didn't get good grades, I couldn't play basketball. So, you know, I utilize education to help my basketball career.
Grades gave you your scholarship.
Yeah, it gave me the opportunity to play.
Yeah.
My mom, she don't play with school. She doesn't play when it comes to school. She will take you out of basketball if you don't get A's.
Exactly.
So, you know, I learned my lesson. I had a little hiccup one point, and she never had to worry about me again. So, you know, when it came to university, getting my degree, that's something that she's really proud of, more than in my basketball career, mainly because I sacrificed and I put a lot of effort in my education. This way I can always be able to help people. I can help, and I'm qualified to have jobs, because in the U.S. it's very competitive to get a good job. Yeah. The same thing in Nigeria, it's very competitive. You got the degree, but you got to compete with the best of the best, and I'm very thankful that I was able to qualify myself and take school very seriously.
Ejimofor, back to basketball. This guy, his story is what we want to hear. So, let's come back to camp. I mean, you guys were disappointed. Nigeria host team, and then you played Senegal, you played Mali. What really happened? Was it the inexperience? Was it not coaching? Was it not enough time to gel? You guys just came in, you know, and what would attribute, you know, our performance in the system?
I always had this quote, like, when you don't get the result you want, you got to reflect on your preparation. I feel like we just got to prepare better for the next time, because we played two really good teams. Got to give Senegal and Mali their credit. They have talented players. They all play abroad as well. And, you know, we went out there, competed, we fought. We was in the game. We had the leads versus Senegal and versus Mali. So the talent was there for us, you know what I mean? It's just about us gelling together, because when it comes to winning games, it's the closer you guys are, it takes you over that hump when tough times come. But, you know, we had a lot of young guys coming in. First time the team was together. Like I said, Nigeria has always been known to have success in basketball due to the culture that has been with all the OG guys.
Okay.
Like
I want us to take. I think we have somebody trying to reach us from Abuja. Hello. Okay, the lines are still open. You can still join us. I know we have Ejimofor in the house. Spain have just won the World Cup. We have a new sport ministry. We have a lot of things to talk about. But then let us talk about him, because it's about the growth of basketball. We're not going to talk about basketball in America, basketball in Nigeria. You had a little clinic around.
Yeah, I had a clinic earlier last week with some of my guys from Educational Basketball, Coach Ejimofor and Olutobi. You know, I'm abroad. I'm in the U.S., so I love to keep tabs on the youth here, see what they're doing, because I love to see positive things going on in the community. I know it's very easy to go down the wrong path, but I got to commend those who try to do the right thing and try to follow their dreams and passion despite what obstacles they face. And those two coaches specifically provide a positive and safe environment for kids. And that's something I use my social media platform for. If you follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and all those things, you see everything I post is try to be uplifting and motivational, and even have a sense of humor. Just something so kids have a positive space to look at. Because I know when I was a kid, just positivity and being around people who are genuine and had good intentions helped me get over the hump, especially in life. So yeah, I had the clinic in Lagos. It was very nice. About 15 kids came. One kid in particular didn't have a pair of shoes. A really tall kid, actually. And but he was lucky. He wore the same size shoe I wore, so I took off my shoes, gave it to him, and I ran the clinic in my socks.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So he was very thankful because it was the first pair of new shoes he got in a long time. But mainly just, you know, for me, it's always God blessed me to have the opportunity and the talents I have. My mother always told me when God blesses you, you got to take that blessing and create opportunities to bless others. So day by day, I try to do that. And I'm very happy that I have an impact on children's lives here in Nigeria, my home country.
Okay, basketball in America, even how early? I mean, of course we say college basketball, but before college basketball, at secondary school level, how is it like? At primary school level, how is it like?
The same way you described how Spain have their camps. You can start at 3, 5. You can play basketball as early as you want in the U.S. I feel like the infrastructure in the U.S. is for sports is very unique as far as they create opportunities for every kid. No, whether you're poor or you're rich or you have money, you don't have money, there's always a place you could play if you find your passion. And I feel like you could cultivate your talent and make them find their true potential. And you could be able to reap those benefits when those kids go professional and represent their country at the highest level. For me, you know, looking back, I'm blessed to be a Nigerian born in America. I get the best of both worlds. I'm a Nigerian in character, Nigerian in body, but I benefit from the American system. Not many kids had those opportunities, especially back home here. We're a country with 220 million people. You can't tell me you can't find 10 gold medalists, 10 diamonds in a rough. I feel like if you give those kids opportunity and you make a system where they could benefit and grow as players and all types of athletes, hey, the sky's the limit for this country. And I'm already seeing it now, especially with NFL Africa. I have a few of my friends that are playing, and it's their first football game ever. And they're having a great success now in their rookie year. So shout out to those guys, Kenneth Odumegwu, David Aoa, Chukwuemeka, Godric. Those guys, they're putting on for Nigeria in the NFL in their rookie year.
We have, okay, let's go straight to Niger State. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, true.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing? How is work?
We're fine. Let's hear you. Let's have your contribution. We have Ejimofor in the house. He's a tiger.
Yeah, I really want to commend you, of course, I guess, Ejimofor there for, I'm fine. Yes, all right. I want to really talk about the Spain and England final.
Okay.
I think the Spain, just like what the other man said, they have been doing well. If you watch their game in Barcelona, they dominated the Spanish league, the women, and today, they have made the Spaniards are very, very proud by winning the World Cup. So I think they really deserve to win because I think they played better than the England team.
Okay. So any word for Ejimofor here?
Yeah, I want to tell him to just keep it real, and he should know that there are a lot of mentors out there that really want to be like him.
Okay, and that is what he's doing, keeping it real. You can't.
Yes,
you can't
I also want to wish him the best of luck. He should keep it real, and of course, more especially Channel TV giving us the best of sport in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. We'll keep on doing that. Okay, Ejimofor, where your trajectory? What next?
The NBA.
The NBA?
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
How soon is it gonna happen?
So.
Sooner than we think.
Yeah, everything I say I'm gonna do, I do.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. I know I just gotta keep working hard. The opportunity will present itself, and when it does, I'll take advantage of it and take it to the highest level.
When it does, you take it to the highest level.
I'll take it to the highest level.
What do you think we should do here? We're saying Nigeria as a basketball nation. Forget that you guys didn't make this for some time now. The Tigers, after 3-4, 4 in a row, the Tiger themselves, you have this dominance. But let me ask you this: were you contacted by the federation, or was it your colleagues that contacted you to be part of the national team?
Chiemezi Metu reached out to me. He wanted to assemble a team together that was going to be competitive and help represent Nigeria at the highest level. So I got to commend him for that, for him to recognize my skills and listen to referrals from other people to get me on the team, which I'm very thankful for. So he reached out to me. From there, the general manager later reached out to me later in the summer about information about coming, and then from there, that's how I joined the team.
Okay. But when you guys came in, have you been in contact with the federation?
No, this is actually my first call, so my first time, so I don't really know much about the federation.
Okay.
So I'm playing, representing Nigeria off a sense of pride. For me, that's what I do it for. I know there's a lot of kids watching who would strive to be in situations that I'm in. So I'm trying to just put a positive inspiration on the youth and utilize my platform and opportunity to help the next generation.
Okay. I'm asking them, what about the logistics where you come? They sent you a ticket to come and be part of the team?
Yeah, actually, while I was in Canada playing, I was in contract playing in Canada during the season this summer when I got the call that I'm on the national team and everything. So it took Chiemezi Metu to contact Canada on my behalf to get me out of my contract so I could play. Because Canada, the team in Canada, they didn't want me to come play for the national team. And I was adamant on representing my country. So shout out to him for doing that and helping me get here, because without that, I wouldn't be here. But yeah, so they sent me my accommodations, they sent me my flights and everything to get here. And then, I paid for my family to come. I bought my mother's ticket, bus my cousins in. I bought like 4 hotel rooms. I paid that all on myself.
Wait. You came with your mother?
Yeah, I flew her. I bought a plane ticket.
Wow.
You were not there, Ken. Because whenever he was on the ball, you literally hear his name ringing around the arena. It was just a sight to behold.
Wow. Don't worry. We'll meet her. We'll meet her. And you've spoken so much about your mother, her sacrifices and all that she has done. And that is what we expect mothers and fathers to do, especially when the whole responsibility, I don't want to say it's a burden, it's a responsibility, is on one shoulder instead of being shared together. Basketball in Nigeria, how do you think we can do it so that that mass participation thing that you guys have natural, as football comes to us naturally? How do we popularize basketball in Nigeria? What ideas do you have that what we can do?
Actually, I'm a part of an organization called Meta Africa Sports. This is something I've implemented throughout the continent of West Africa. I currently had a basketball league with 2 of my friends in Mali. Well over 700 kids, boys and girls, 35 teams under the ages of 17 in Bamako. Some of the kids, the team on Mali that we played against, some of those kids that's on the team are through my program. So it's kind of funny, they said, so Nigerian guys in Mali helping run our basketball league. But I'm very thankful for that, and that's something I'm looking to bring towards Nigeria in the future. Because I think if you give the youth a positive outlet to do something, they'll take it and run with the opportunity and make the most of it.
Yeah.
For me, creating that kind of enrichment program for the youth up in Bamako, it was good, and seeing the benefits I have at a community, mainly because of the opportunity. 2 of my best friends are from Mali. So I was able to have that to provide a safe, private-owned league, 35 teams with corporate sponsors. It gives the kids something fun to look forward to. They get nice jerseys. I did a shoe drive where I raised over 1,000 shoes, which I'll be distributing around the continent between Nigeria, Mali, Ivory Coast, Senegal. But things like that, to create a positive youth league, that's the first and most important thing. The youth needs to have something to do to cultivate their skills and compete against one another. Because at ages 13 through 17, those are the very competitive stages that build the foundation when it's time to represent your country in your pro years, 24 and up, 21 and up. That's the first and most important thing I think that I'll help implement and be able to be the bridge. That's something I strive to do, be the bridge between Nigeria and other kids who strive to play the game of basketball, and especially those in the U.S.
And can you replicate that, what you have in Bamako? Can you replicate it in Lagos or in a part of Nigeria here? Is it what are the obstacles you're seeing that you say we need to overcome this so that we can have those same thing here in Nigeria?
I'll definitely say, Nigeria is very interesting. I definitely think I can replicate it. It's going to take a lot of work, and I have to assemble the right team of individuals, which I have to be vetted out very, very, very thoroughly. Because you want the right people, like you said, the most qualified person for the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like to do things the right way. I don't like doing shorting corners. If I do it once, I want to do it right. So I think it's very fruitful I could have in Nigeria in the future. Right now I'm doing camps, and I help a lot of kids from Nigeria who move to the U.S. I help them in a transitionary process because they're leaving home for the first time. To get homesick. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of kids, when you leave in at 13, 14 years old, and you're probably not going to see your family for a long time, you get homesick, that is the most prime time where a kid needs a support system. And when those kids get to the U.S., no matter what the age, someone refers them to me, and I get them in contact, and I know people everywhere. So I build the support system for those kids, so at least they have the family environment, and they have the tools it takes to be successful. I've been doing that the past few years, and many kids have gone on to benefit and receive scholarships to the highest level.
I think this is quite interesting, this aspect. Really are you saying that if there are Nigerian kids, talents, that it is possible for you to put them, if they contact you, you can get in contacts over there in the U.S.?
That is possible in certain situations, and many of the kids are already there in the U.S.
Okay.
So once they're already there, when they don't have parents, there's no one there to watch out for them. So when I'm over there, I'm kind of like the big brother for them. I help them if they need shoes, if they need someone to talk to. I'm actually in the U.S. with them.
When they're already there?
When they're already there.
Okay.
Because that's the part where it gets tricky, you know what I mean? Your mother and your father's in Nigeria. You in the U.S., 14, 15, as a teenager, you don't know nobody. So it's imperative you hang around the right people and keep good company, because it's easy you go off the wrong path.
The wrong path. How? Earlier on, you mentioned your mother, taking you guys to a better neighborhood. How does let's look at the other neighborhood that you were in. How does it affect a child?
I always say there's 2 types of life. two types to raise a child. You can raise a child on love, you can raise a child on survival. When you're poor, you're raised on survival because you don't know where your next meal's coming from. You don't know this. There's a lot of different things that life's putting on you. So you don't really see the love growing up. So that's what, when you live in the hood, when you live in a tough neighborhood, it's just surviving the next day. You're just trying to live, you're just trying to survive. And you know, kids have those motives like fight or flight. They can't think too far, they can't dream, because they might not even be long enough to dream. But I'm very thankful. Once you move into a more safer neighborhood, a child can more relax and come into himself, get developed, build good habits. And that's what it takes, you know, to really realize the true potential, to overcome those traumas and those tough things that you see at a young age that many kids shouldn't be able to see.
Can Nigeria win the basketball World Cup?
Yes, I believe.
How soon do you think we can do that?
I can show you, but I can tell you.
As we go.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here with us today. And then, most importantly, I'm really grateful that now we've been able to separate both ministries, and hopefully we can get to work and live football, or basically sports, out of the doldrum.
Absolutely.